Welcome to the Sunday Morning Club, the place where we battle burnout and brew up bold ideas, preferably over a steamy cup of coffee. I'm Fay Chapple, and I'm your ringleader for these re-energizing Sundays. If you're ready to crack the code on resetting your mindset, rebooting your goals, and laughing a little along the way, well, you're in the right place. So let's dive in. Good morning and welcome to the 7 a.m. Club. I'm excited to have you here. Today's our first morning and you have shown up, which is huge. The fact that you've come and you showed up means that you believe you need to be here to change your life. So here is what we're going to do every morning, every Sunday morning going forward. So what you need to do is show up here on 7 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Get comfortable, have either a comfortable chair, have a meditation cushion, whatever makes you feel better, whatever you can sit on. I have a half moon meditation cushion right here, and I can sit up a little to see you guys a little better. So what else do you need? You need to have a journal. You can download our Sunday Morning Club planners. I'll give you a link at the bottom if you'd like to do that. It's a great way to reflect on what you've done for the day and to just establish some routines or new things that you're going to do as you move forward from other stuff we're going to learn. So today is really important because we are going to establish a new routine, one that you can take with you for the rest of the week. Every week we're going to take a new theme. We're going to look at how we can incorporate this into our lives and make it just a little bit better. So today we're diving into a deep topic, one that a lot of us struggle with. This is really the reason why I started down this path and what I'm teaching. And it's something that you rarely talk about, at least talk about in a way that you can actually move forward with. And it's about burnout. So if you've ever felt completely drained, overwhelmed, stuck in a cycle, right? You're exhausted, but you don't know what to do. Well, you're not alone, because burnout isn't just about feeling tired. It's really a state of emotional and physical and mental exhaustion, and it's caused by prolonged stress. That's really what burnout is. And it can lead to a lot of different things like reduced motivation, high anxiety, trouble sleeping, even physical pieces like headaches and joint pain, and that's where I sat with most of this. I have struggled for a long time with burnout, and it's because I just had a life that was insanely busy, right? And it was hard for me to get on top of things, and I didn't have a lot of choice. There weren't more hours in the day, so I had to figure out how I could make it work. So we are going to work on all the pieces that might help you move through as we continue. So today we're really going to talk about understanding what the signs of burnout are, other than just being tired, and how to really reset your energy to understand there are methods that you can do, science-backed methods that will help you with burnout. We're going to talk about why traditional self-care doesn't really work for a lot of us, right? It doesn't work, and if you go to the doctors, for example, your doctor will probably tell you take some antidepressants, or you need to take some time off work. That doesn't really help with burnout, right? So we need really a step-by-step burnout recovery framework, and that's what we're going to start with today. It's one of the topics that are near and dear to my heart. We have a couple of programs that we're running right now, and we work with a lot of clients that deal with it as well. So today's segment is broken up in a few different things. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll do some breath work, some manifestation, meditation. We're going to do a little bit of movement today, not too much, because this is our first day and I don't know where everyone sits with it. But as we go along, we'll be adding more and more movement, because it is a crucial part of dealing with burnout. And then the other thing we're going to talk about as well is we're going to talk a little bit about, each week we'll talk a little bit about nutrition. And I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just sharing with you what worked for me, the program that I set out, and the framework. So grab a coffee or grab a lemon water. This is just regular lemon water. It's just lemons in hot water. It's what I drink every single morning after I work out. I usually get up at 5 a.m. I have a 5 a.m. club if anyone's interested in joining. So 5 a.m. we work on yoga, bar, Pilates, you name it, to start the day. So again, grab a drink, grab your journal, and we're ready to go. So let's, this is my little table here to have my water in. So set up so that you're most comfortable, right? Because we really want to understand where we are today. Burnout isn't just being about a little stressed, right? It isn't. It's a full blown body shutdown in a lot of instances. It can impact your mental clarity, right, and your emotional well-being as well. Not to mention what we talked about, which was your physical health. So if you're feeling like you're exhausted as soon as you wake up, even though you've slept 8 hours, and you're dreading the day and constantly really feel like you're running on empty. I know when I remember when I would take my youngest to his hockey games, and I'd already had a full day, and I was essentially a single parent because my husband was severely disabled. So I would take him to games, and I can remember sitting in the stands praying that I didn't fall asleep because I was so tired. So if you've ever felt that way, that's not normal, right? That's not normal. And that's what we have to recognize. So first and foremost, what are the signs of burnout? Do you have it? Well, constant fatigue after you wake up, after you've slept all that time, that's a sign right there. Lack of motivation, right? For things that you used to love to do. Maybe you used to love to meet with your friends or go for walks or whatever it is, you have no motivation to do that anymore. If you feel emotionally detached, right, and overwhelmed with everything, so there's no real highs or lows, you're just kind of getting through the day. You feel like you're running on empty. If you ever have trouble making decisions, all of a sudden, even simple decisions like you can't decide what to eat for lunch because your brain just feels like it can't fit any more information in it. If you're irritable, if you have high anxiety, those all might be signs. And you know, it can happen anytime, right? It can happen when you're overcommitting without refueling your energy, without making sure that you're looking after what matters. It can happen from chronic stress and no relief. And that's where I was. It was challenging for those of you who have been in the same situation. If you're a well spouse, you're a caregiver, you are a mom, and you're doing it all your own, you're a dad, and you have a lot of work, whatever it is, it can happen at any time. So overworking is a big sign of it. Another one that's a really big one that most people, you know, you might be sitting there going, well, I don't have any of that, but it could be like a lack of boundaries, right? You are saying yes to everything, and then you're not saying no to giving yourself time to be able to reflect and understand that. So that's really important. Another one is if you're running on caffeine and adrenaline, and I know that was most of mine. I really didn't have a lot of time to rest, so I would just drink a lot of coffee and I would keep going. So if you recognize any of this in you, you should jot down those little notes to make sure that you, when you get an aha moment, make sure you write it down, because that's what this is all about, right? If you feel any of this, the good news is that we can get through burnout, and we're going to start by getting through it today, right? So we're going to take our water, to take whatever we're drinking, to start fueling ourselves. We're going to talk a little bit about water later in the nutrition segment, but anyway, stick with us. Today's quote I'm going to give you is, you can't pour from an empty cup. How many times have we heard that, right? It's a very famous saying, and think about it for a moment, right? If you're constantly giving your energy away, then, you know, to work, to family, to notifications, to your phone, to doom scrolling, but you're never filling yourself back up, then we run on fumes. And that's what we want to change today, right? So ask yourself right now, have you ever felt completely drained, right? Have you ever felt completely drained? Think about it. Because if you have, then that's probably a little sign of burnout. So today we're going to go to 3 different areas, and that's our M3 formula. It's all about mindset, about movement, and moderation. And moderation, we mean, you know, moderation in what we eat, what we do, thinking before we leap into everything. So each of these elements is really designed to recharge you, to reset you, and to show up again how we would feel the best way we can feel possible. Okay, so We're going to start with a little bit of breath work and meditation, right? So it's why do we start with this? Because we want to do essentially a mind reset. So first we need to really calm that nervous system, right? Because right now your body is generally stuck in either fight or flight mode, right? It's pumping out stress hormones, and what we want to do is do something to get us the very fastest possible way to calm, right? So breath work actually is the fastest way to calm your brain, to give it the signal that says we are safe, we don't have to go anywhere. So deep breathing activates your parasympathetic, good one today, for your nervous system, right? It calms the body and it reduces the stress hormones like cortisol. You guys have all heard about cortisol. It's in every single feed you can possibly see. There's lots of different hacks to help decrease your cortisol level. I know it's one of the things I struggle with, so I take some supplements that help me, but the best thing you can do is all of the things that we're going to do today, and one of them is breath work. So we're going to start there. So I want you to all sit comfortably where you are, and I want you to close your eyes. I'm looking at you. Close your eyes and take a deep breath through the belly. You can take it through your mouth or your nose. And out. Just nice relaxing breath work. How many of you take breath work for granted? You know, we breathe, but we have a tendency of breathing very shallow breaths, right? So if you've ever noticed if you stop and breathe, or normally it's fairly shallow, what we want to do is take some time to really get that breath in. When we're trying to calm down, we usually tell somebody to take a deep breath and let it go. And that's what starts calming you down. So we're going to do today, there's so many different breathwork opportunities. Today we're going to do the 4-7-8 breathing. We're going to try different ones each and every week, and you're going to find the one that fits for you. But again, close your eyes, and then what I want you to do is inhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I want you to exhale slowly for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a hard one. The exhale is hard because we're not used to taking it that slow. But each and every time you do it, it's going to make a difference. So let's do this 5 times, okay? So inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How does that feel? You should feel an instant shift. It's like a weight is lifting. And this works because it's activating your nervous system. It's lowering your stress level and brings your body back into balance. Does that make sense? I hope you're starting to calm down and feel a little more comfortable. So I want now to move into a little bit of a guided meditation. I'm not going to say too much, but I want you to really pick a word. It could just be calm. And I just want you to focus. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to focus on that word, whether it's calm. That might be the word for the day. So just feel calm, calm. Just focus on that word. Eyes are closed. Now I want you to visualize that stress leaving your body with each exhale. So you're going to inhale normally and exhale normally, either through your nose, preferably through your mouth. Okay. Inhaling, visually feeling that stress, exit as you exhale. So as you inhale, you're breathing in fresh air. As you exhale, you're taking that stress out of your body. So I want you to keep thinking of that and thinking of a word as you say it. Imagine you're feeling light and refreshed and renewed, right? I want you to say to yourself either that calm, or you might say something like, I release whatever no longer serves me. Whatever phrase or aspiration or intention that you want to use, that will work. So let's calm down again, inhaling and exhaling, and just thinking to yourself. Breathing in, cool air, and breathing out, all the stress leaving your body. What I visualize when I do this is I literally visualize fresh air coming in as I inhale, and as I exhale, I visually watch it release. It goes out of my feet, it goes down my body and out, and I visualize that stress, that cortisol leaving my body and making me feel less like I have to run, I have to do things, I have to move. I'm just trying to keep it calm. So again, visualizing as you inhale and exhale. Keep your eyes closed, keep the breathing going. As we move through the next few weeks, we were going to do long meditations. This one is only a few minutes. That's why I'm asking you to keep your eyes closed. We'll only do a few minutes here. And then as we move forward and you get used to this pattern of work we do each and every Sunday, then what we're going to start doing is doing longer guided meditations. So I will walk you through guided meditations. But what I'm trying to get you to do now is establish a way that within seconds you can calm your mind and your brain down no matter how stressed you are. So between our breathing work as we are inhaling and we're calming ourselves down and visualizing that stress leaving us and coming up with our word, you can do this at any time of the day. So you might have a bad call on the phone, bad news, you might be stressed in traffic. Please don't close your eyes when you're in traffic. But whatever it is, you now have a tool literally that you learned in 30 seconds. You have a tool that will calm your mind and establish a new routine. I used to do this with my kids when they were younger. They didn't know we were doing it, but whenever they got too anxious or too upset, I would usually put my hand on their foreheads and I would say, okay, deep breath in and deep breath out. And after a few minutes, they would calm down. And that is teaching them how to actually regulate what's not making them feel good. So a couple more minutes breathing in and breathing out. You guys can do this. Close your eyes. Make sure you're closing your eyes and continually breathing in and out. You can hold it as long as you are comfortable with. No short breaths. We just learned how to extend our breath. So it can be 5 in, hold, and 5 out. Or it can be just simply watching your breath or listening to your breath as you breathe in and breathe out. If you want to use one word, you can simply pick a word that you has meaning to you. So you could breathe in and think calm, and breathe out and think calm. What we're trying to do is release any other patterns, any noise around us. You might have heard of monkey mind. It's okay if your brain goes in and out and all these thoughts come in. It's fine. This is a very small segment that we're trying to start with, okay? One more breath in, hold it, and out. Okay, open your eyes, look up. How do you feel? Do you feel calmer? Are you ready now to feel better about the day ahead? So pick up your journals, because this is our next step. So pick up your journal, piece of paper, your planner, whatever you have, and now I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to write down the top 3 things that you believe are draining your energy today or in the last week. What are the top 3 things that have drained your energy for the week? It is easier to, after you've calmed your brain and your breathing, as we've just done, it's much easier to identify those things because we are in a calmer state. So think about it, write down those top 3 things. And as you write those things, I want you to think about what is one change that you can make, whether it's big or small, to set boundaries or to reclaim your energy from those things. What can you do? If, for example, if you committed to a social event once a week that you think is good for your business, but it exhausts you to go because you are not really a social person perhaps, but you think it's good for your business, rather than struggling with it, because as anyone who's an introvert knows that when you go to a social event, it's exhausting because it is so far out of your comfort zone that it might take you a day to recover. If that's you, you can do something simple as, you know what, rather than once a week, I'm going to do it once a month. And that will be good for my business, but it'll also be good for my soul. So really think about one thing you can change, big or small, that you can reclaim your energy and you can set boundaries for those things that are draining you. So write down without filtering yourself at all, right? Do it without filtering yourself. Just get it out of your head and onto the page. It could be, that's why I'm saying don't filter yourself. It could be, you know what, my partner exhausts me. My partner is exhausting, but you don't want to write it down. Well, I want you to write it down. This is your journal. This is about you. And once you do write it down, then you'll be able to now go, okay, this does affect me. What can I do so that I can make sure that I reclaim that energy? And you know what? Sometimes the partner is there to help you. They want to help you. They don't even know why you're not feeling good, why you're feeling stressed. So that's what I want you to really focus on. So continue on your journal prompt and finish those up. Have a sip of your water or your tea or whatever you're drinking. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement, not too much, but I'm going to do something that you can do yourself throughout the day. Great water. If you haven't tried lemon water, you really should. So hopefully you got your journals done. This class, this first 7 a.m. is one that's a little shorter than we're going to have in most of them. But the reason it's going to be a little shorter is because I want you guys to get comfortable with what you're doing. So we're going to have a little topic that we talked about, like we did burnout. We're going to move to breathwork and meditation in different forms each and every week. So you guys are going to test everything out. We're going to do chanting, we're going to do movement meditation, we're going to do a walking meditation. I'm going to give you an assignment to go out and walk as well. So we're going to do a lot of different things. What I'm trying to do is expose you to so many different opportunities so that you can pick one that works for you. So our next step in our morning process is movement, and it's really about physically resetting, right? So burnout isn't just about it's in your mind, it actually stores in your body. All that stress is stored. So what you want to do is you literally want to helps shake off that stress, right? No matter what you do. So physical movement actually helps release stored tension and fatigue. And it's interesting because it promotes endorphins. Everybody talks about it, which is a natural stress reliever, right? So movement is the one thing that when you're in burnout you don't want to do because you're too tired, but it actually gives you your energy back. And movement can be anything. So we will go through some yoga, some tai chi, some qigong, a lot of different pieces that you can try, but anything works. Taking a walk. What we're doing today, we're just going to do for 2 minutes, is what we call a shakeout. And a shakeout, because my camera's stationary, I'm not going to stand, but shakeout is where you simply just stand up. So if you have the opportunity, if you don't, you can do it sitting down. Move your legs in front of you or somewhere where you can have movement. So a shakeout is really about standing up and shaking your arms, shaking your shoulders. You can bounce on your toes if you're standing up. If you're sitting, just release, put your heels up, put your toes out, shake anything you can. I want you to move freely. If it's more comfortable for you, close your eyes and just move, just shake it out, shake everything you can. It's kind of like that Taylor Swift song. So shake it out. It feels silly, right? It feels really, really silly, but trust me, your nervous system will thank you for it. So imagine every time you shake, you're shaking the stress out of your body. I want you to do that for a minute, whether it's standing up and jumping or just sitting in your seat. Just shake everything, whatever you can think of doing, shake it as much as you can. And what it's going to do is shake off that stress. So whenever you're feeling nervous or uncomfortable, it's a great place to start. When I speak, I'm a keynote speaker, so I speak a lot on stage. And the one thing I do behind the stage, behind the scenes, before I go out, is I shake and I pat, right? You can pat yourself to get the stress out. And it's not really stress for me. I'm so excited to get out there and I need to try to calm myself down, which has the same feeling. So keep going up and down the body, all the way down to your legs, around your back, or just shake, whichever one feels more comfortable to you. But what we're doing is we're taking the stress out of our body. Can you guys do that? Does that make sense? So here's a little tip I got for you today. So this is what I want you to do when you're a little stressed today, or you're feeling anxious, or your cortisol level's going up. I'm going to stop. And I want you to do this. If you have the ability to shake, try it. If not, we're going to go to the deep breathing and the breath work. But what I want you to do is, how easy is that? Right? You can be stand up from your desk, nobody's looking at you, and just shake a bit or pat yourself down. Move that stress out of your body as much as you can. That will make a massive, massive difference. Do you already feel better? Do you already feel energetic? Right? Makes a difference. So 2 years ago, I started on a bigger journey to try to do some self-care and look after myself. I started with a nutritionist, and the first thing she said to me is, how much physical activity are you getting? Which was a 0. And so I committed. And I said, what am I going to do? Because I'm exhausted by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't really want to do anything. I didn't think I could get up in the morning anymore, which used to be my time, because I had so much to do. So I was already waking up to make sure I do all the pieces that I was obligated to do, and I didn't want to wake up any earlier. So what I thought was, I will go physically to a class because I would be forced, right? It's kind of like I've signed up, so I have to go. And I would do it around 4, 5, 6 o'clock, which is the time that I'm totally exhausted, because I do know that when you do physical activity, you start feeling better, even though you don't want to do it going there. So that's what I did, and I committed. And for a year and a half, almost every single day, between 4 and 6, 4 and 8, I would do classes. And afterwards, all the stress of the day went away, right? It went away. You don't have to go to a class. You can go for a walk. You can do some shaking. You can do some stretching, but you must do something. So again, I never thought I could do it for a year and a half, but I did it. And what happened? I felt great. I love going after all those months. I love going, but here was a dilemma. Everything changed in my life, and so I could no longer go to those classes. So what I did was I started the 5 a.m. club. So I get up at 5 a.m. Didn't think I could, but I realized that at 5 a.m. I was up anyways. The difference was I was just scrolling on my phone, right? So I got up at 5 a.m. and now I do my class at 5 at home with a really great program. I will send the link below if you guys want to check it out. I will try as much as I can to share everything that I do, because those are the questions that come in all the time for me. It's, what do you use? What do you do? Please take it only as something that you might want to consider, but don't take it as the answer for you, because everyone is different, and what works for you might not be exactly what works for me. But I can't tell you enough how important it is to move. And I think before I started the classes, a year before that, I had started doing 5K walks, and I did it first thing in the morning, not at 5 a.m., more like 7, and I loved it. And that was a great way to do it as well. So this year, I've committed to doing classes at 5, and then when the weather gets nice, because it's cold here, but when the weather gets nice, I will do 5Ks again starting in the spring, and I will do those after dinner. And that's what I prefer to do. I try to change it up. You don't have to do the same thing all the time. So just, my background, I am a certified yoga instructor. I'm an ERYT. I got 500-hour teacher training. I ran my own studio for a number of years. And so I'm very well versed in a lot of the physical sciences. However, it does not make it any easier for you to do when you're in burnout. So while I was in burnout, I didn't do anything for a couple of years. And that's really where don't mistake, for those of you who are getting older, a lot of us, what we do is, we don't feel good. Our joints hurt. That must be because I'm getting older. That's not true. So that's what you have to recognize. It is not true just because you are getting older, you are feeling not well. It isn't true. So we've done some movement for today, a little tiny bit, but it's enough to get you started. I did not want to do a 20-minute flow with you because I will lose a lot of you, because you are coming here for your first time. But every week we're going to add a little more. So we are eventually going to get into more and more and more. So nutrition. This is a big one for me. I have studied a lot in the last couple of years because I recognize, like most of you are starting to recognize, our food is not so great anymore, not what it used to be. So we have to make a concerted effort to make good choices, right? Again, I'm not a nutritionist, but what really bothered me a lot when I first started down this path, and again, I've changed a lot, and I know what works for me, and I've done a lot of research, so I understand products that are good and products that are really terrible for you. But what was really on my mind was hydration. And I knew that hydration was crucial to energy. It's crucial to burnout prevention, right? Didn't drink a lot of water, never did. And what was fascinating to me was every time you turned around, everyone said, drink water, drink water, drink water. And for those of you who grew up in my generation, we never drank water, right? We drank it from a hose, or we were at school and there was the fountains. Do you remember being in a line, for those of you who are my age, in front of a fountain, and kids behind you would count to 3, and that's all you had to drink. 1, 2, 3, and then it's the next person's turn. We never packed drinks for lunch. We never brought water with us when we were playing sports. It was bizarre. All of a sudden, and in my kids, I'm packing water and I'm making sure, did you drink enough while you're playing your sport? Which was really fascinating, right? And as I started trying to understand why have things changed, right? Why did I not drink water? And I grew up and I was fine. And now all of a sudden, if you don't drink water, you're in trouble, right? We know that water supports brain function. Even really mild dehydration can cause brain fog and fatigue and irritability, which all makes burnout worse, right? We know that water flushes out stress hormones. We know, because hydration eliminates that excess cortisol, right? That stress hormone. and that builds up when we're in burnout. So we know that it works for that. We know that when you're dehydrated, fatigue and sluggishness happens, right? And burnout feels even heavier. So we understand that, and we understand that when you drink more, you have a tendency of not overeating. Your sugar cravings go down, right? Because often we think that we're hungry, but actually the body just wants water. It wants to be hydrated, right? And we all know about it supports dehydration and detoxification. It flushes toxins. We know all that, right? We know it all. So we've always known it, but again, why are we asked to drink more now than before when we all came out pretty healthy? So I did a lot of research and I read a lot of science articles, and I finally found the answer. And it's so simple, but you had to go down that path that of nutrition, of food, and what's happening in the world today with all our food. And here's the simple thing. Years ago, when I was young and growing up, our food was really, really healthy. It was clean food, right? There was very little foods that were processed. And so healthy, clean, raw food or non-processed food contains a lot of water. So we were getting a lot of water through our food when we were young, right? And now what has changed, and this is the one that people always say, we don't understand, but this is what's changed, is all our foods now are processed foods, right? This is clean. I have spring water, and these are fresh lemons. What I noticed was if you turn over lemon juice bottles, which a lot of us have used, you'll see other ingredients in it which aren't fresh, right? I did find, actually off topic, but I found a lemon juice that's imported from Spain. It only lasts 40 days after you open it because it's fresh and there's nothing in it. So now, today, all our foods are processed, and they're processed with terrible things. A lot of them have, like sugar, for example, in things that, why is there sugar? Well, sugar helps to keep you wanting to have more. And so the big food companies have figured out the formulas that keep you coming back. Low nutrition foods, for example, actually you need to eat more of, right? Because it's not fulfilling, it's not sustaining you, and therefore you're eating more and more and more, which the manufacturers want. But what's not in it? Water, right? So a simple way to increase your hydration without really forcing it is to eat water-rich foods, which means non-processed foods, right? So it can include things like cucumbers and watermelons and oranges and celeries and zucchinis, and that naturally really boosts your hydration levels, right? Start your day with water. That's a great way to get another glass in, and I drink a full glass of water with lemon first thing in the morning. It actually, I work out for an hour, and then I take a glass of warm water. Mine's warm, some people like cold, and it really kickstarts your metabolism, right? And it rehydrates you. It's really great. And if you infuse it with either lemon or mint or cucumber or berries, it feels less boring, right? So it makes a massive, massive difference. So if we know that we must drink water, now you know the reason. And here's the interesting thing. Once I tell somebody the reason why we have to drink more water now, and you intellectually get it, it's so much easier to drink water, because now you have a tendency of looking at that pack of cookies and go, there's nothing good in that cookie. There is definitely no water. There is no point in my having it because it's not going to help me, right? So, and if you really want to try and add more and more, use what I call the sip rule, right? So you keep a bottle or a glass. You guys have seen me taking sips. I keep putting my arm down here and taking this and sipping it, right? If you just have something beside you all day and you just take sips throughout the day, and you don't have to chug a glass, you don't have to chug 8 glasses. If you take sips throughout the day, that's the easiest way to add water. So the reason as I said, we need to drink more water just isn't because we're more active. It's because our food supply has changed, right? And we need to really think about rebuilding that hydration level. And how do we do it? From the inside, right? So drinking more water isn't just really a health tip. It's a necessity for making sure that we avoid fatigue and brain fog and burnout. You got it. That's why we do it. So that's what we want to do going forward. We want to make sure that's your nutrition tip for the day, right? It's a really easy one. You will never forget what I just said now. So you're going to look at your food a lot differently, and there is a reason to continually drink water. So one of the key takeaways for this morning, burnout is reversible, right? If you take action, you can reverse it. Those small daily little habits, the breath work, right? The little bit of movement, drinking water, they compound and give you massive results as you continue to go. So you don't need to push through each and every day. You can pause and reset yourself to go ahead. So what I'm hoping is today is you're going to take those tips, and each and every day you're going to reset a bit, right? Because burnout is not a badge of honor, right? It is not like, oh, I feel so burned out. No, it's a warning sign, right? And the best thing you can do for yourself and for the people that depend on you is to commit to really protecting your energy. So you want to start small. You want to pick something from today and take action on it, right? In your planner, if you downloaded the planner, there is a part on page 2. There's only 2 pages, so it's not a big deal. That says, what action am I going to take today to see if it works? Like, what am I going to take this week? And then at the end of the week, maybe on Saturday or maybe next Sunday morning, you can open your journal or open your planner and reflect on what you did. Did it make sense, right? So today's episode, if this class resonated with you, I'm going to be here each and every Sunday live at 7 a.m. Again, we're going to reset, we're going to recharge, we're going to refuel, we're going to take different topics. Next week, I believe we are talking about anxiety, so it's a little bit different than burnout. So we're going to do that. For those of you who still want support, we do burnout recovery coaching one-on-one, so just DM me. If you see me on Instagram, just DM me coaching, and I'll send you the information on it. We have a burnout blueprint that we do. We're working with the Ultimate Life Reset right now. That is open every couple months, and so you can join us there as well. But the biggest advice I can give you is all you need to do is these small little things each and every day. I'm not asking you for a lot, right? If you just did the 3 or 4 things that we went through, it would probably take you 5 or 10 minutes tops each and every morning. If you guys are interested in setting up morning routines, I'll leave those links below as well, because we have some free classes on that you can take, and then you will start making a massive difference to every aspect of your life. You just have to start. So hopefully you've loved this. Grab a friend next week or tell them about it, and make sure you subscribe up here. This is a new channel for us, so that we can be very clear and concise on exactly what we want to do. So please subscribe, leave us a review, leave us your feedback. We would love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see you next week. And that's a wrap for today's Sunday Morning Club session. Feeling inspired? Well, good. Keep riding that wave all week long. And don't forget to join me live every Sunday at 7 a.m. for real-time conversations. So if you miss a session, no worries. Grab the replays, sign up for our next big thing, and get all the juicy details at sunnymornings.club. So thanks for tuning in. Go out there and spark some magic in your life and in your business.